Hello and welcome to the AD2L. I believe this is actually season 19, but that doesn't have a ticket yet, so we are using the season 17 ticket. This is Girth Shakers versus Chicken Thuggits in the group stage. Welcome to the stream, and I just have to say I so love both of these team names. I don't want my bias to show through, but actually I just can't decide. However, there's more interesting things to talk about, like what's been banned. We see Clockwork, Disruptor, and Tidehunter banned by the Girth Shakers. Meanwhile, Earthshaker banned by Chicken Thuggits, as well as Sniper. I've seen quite a bit of Disruptor down here in the AD2L. It just...
5 seconds remaining.
It's odd to me,
team pick.
just because it doesn't feel like it does a ton in the lane. Although, I guess if you're... I don't know. It's not bad in the lane. It's just I feel like there's better laning supports. But Slardar picked up by the Girth Shakers, and Disruptor definitely very good against that hero, as his only mobility is running really, really fast. So Kinetic Field and Glimpse are crippling to Slardar. A great hero to enable a lot of drafts. I would like to see this in the support role as a roaming 4. I think it doesn't do as well with items as other offlaners, like the Batrider, Pug. But Chicken Thuggits grabbing Witch Doctor. And very quickly thereafter grabbing a Brewmaster. Brewmaster, of course, one of the strongest, or at least most popular offlaners in this current iteration of patch 7.07. Not quite as strong as he was. He's taken a couple rounds of nerfs, but nothing crippling, and we still see this hero pop up fairly regularly. I really like it. It lanes really, really well against all but the toughest of lanes, and with heroes like Clockwork banned out, it shouldn't be too bad for him. Although if they get a good 5, a good support to go with this Slardar, something maybe like a Rubik, that's a lot of control, a very good amount of damage coming in as well. Corrosive Haze, I should say, also very good against the Brew Spirits. It does make them significantly squishier, but we shall see. So Girth Shakers waiting on their rebuttal. And we do not have to wait too long. They grab Dazzle. They're going for a minus armor drive. I think you definitely ban out Shadow Fiend if you're Chicken Thuggits. Shadow Fiend is really good by himself, but when in a draft that enables him like this, that enables his right-clicking like this, and he right-clicks very, very hard, you don't really want to risk letting it through. It also provides him a lot of durability with the Dazzle, and they're going to ban out the Juggernaut. I still think they should get rid of the Shadow Fiend, although Chicken Thuggits do have first pick in this next phase of picking, so they could grab the Shadow Fiend themselves. It might be a little risky. Getting Corrosive Haze as a Shadow Fiend definitely does not feel very good, but it could be done. Forgive me if you hear slurping sounds. I'm drinking some tea. That's not very professional, I know. But waiting on the next ban for the Girth Shakers, they definitely want to remove, I think, tankier heroes. I think get rid of Sven. Unless they're planning on a Sven themselves. Sven Dazzle is a pretty good combo. You've got Warcry plus Weave to make your heroes very resistant to physical damage. Already going to be really high impact against Brewmaster and Witch Doctor. Especially the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor's ult is physical damage, which means he's going to lose quite a bit of potency in the lane. Or with his ultimate, I should say, in team fights. The lane, he'll be fine, and Malediction is, of course, magical damage, which does mean that it should still be pretty good, but it does kind of, I feel like, limit what Chicken Thuggits can do. I'm glad to see Girth Shakers actually ban out the Shadow Fiend. The more I think about it, it would have been a great pick with Chicken Thuggits. The minus armor aura, he has really good magic damage as well. Chicken Thuggits banning out the Medusa, and Faceless Void being banned out by Girth Shaker. That's a fair ban, just especially considering because there's a Witch Doctor on the other team, and Medusa with a Slardar and Dazzle to protect her is very difficult to bring down, and that hero was already not exactly a cakewalk to kill. So we have to kind of keep an eye on that. I think some kind of magic damage for Chicken Thuggits is definitely what they want to look for. I don't know whether I should call them Chicken or Thuggits, maybe just CT. But saying Chicken Thuggits feels good. It's got good mouth feel as a team name. Anyways, sorry to get off topic.
Radiant
but they are going to go for a Bane. I think that's decent. Fiend's Grip pierces BKB. It's got pure damage, it's got magic damage, and Feeble, also good against right clickers, will help mitigate some of that minus armor in like a kind of tertiary way, in a way that's not, okay, we're getting plus armor, but they're not. It's you're doing a little bit less damage, so it sort of is okay. I'm wondering if they're going to get something that wants setup with it. Maybe they're going to go for an Invoker, which I think would be great. A bunch of AoE magic control. Maybe they want to get a Murana. She goes for a Maelstrom, and a Molnir is pretty standard on her these days. And of course the Mana Break talent. But that is physical damage, the Mana Break, for those who do not know, unless it's changed. But, I think Bane's okay. I don't think it's bad. I think Bane's a decent support just on the whole. If for single target lockdown, they already banned out like Phantom Lancer and Medusa. Juggernaut's gone.
Dire team pick.
Legion Commander. So another hero that goes really well with what Girthshakers have. I currently am favoring their draft. The Legion's going to be pretty much, she's, as long as Dazzle is around, she should never lose a duel. And with Slardar, winning them becomes a lot easier. Again, I want to see Thuggits get some kind of heavy magic damage, but now their options are a little bit more limited. I would have normally said something like a Puck, but their damage output is not that high right now, especially because Witch Doctor's primary damage source is Death Ward, which is physical damage. And Girthshakers have lots of good ways to deal with that. Honestly, just the Dazzle. They're probably going to get several armor items on each of their heroes. Blade Mail on the Legion Commander is very common. Trunket Boots don't actually give armor anymore. But even just the Weave, I wouldn't be surprised to see Girthshakers go for a Sven. It's actually not a terrible pick here. It's not amazing against the Bane, but it is some single target lockdown. It gets you great late game scaling, which currently Girthshakers are kind of lacking a bit. Legion Commander doesn't scale phenomenally well unless she wins a lot of duels, but Chicken Thuggits are going to steal the Sven for themselves. I like that for them as well. It very heavily mitigates the Dazzle's Weave, because Warcry gives instantaneous armor boost and movement speed, whereas Dazzle's Weave does have to kind of build up, and it's not until the end of that duration that you're feeling a lot squishier. So I like this Sven a lot here. However, he does have to be mindful that he's a lot squishier than he would normally be. Corrosive Haze is going to be incredibly effective against him, and Dazzle also still going to be really effective. He's not quite going to be able to burst heroes down. Legion can safely duel him because of the Grave, and Girthshakers grabbing a Death Prophet, another largely physical damage hero when you consider that her Exorcism Spirits do physical damage. Girthshakers are going really all in on this minus armor draft and like this raw physical damage. The Sven is an excellent way to counter that, and without Shadow Fiend in the pool, they're looking for their carry now. Let me think. And Chicken Thuggits are looking for their mid, unless it's mid Brew, but I seriously doubt it. Brew would have an awful time against Death Prophet. Not to mention, if Slardar roams on him, he's going to get crushed, quite literally. I don't Anti-Mage banned by Thuggits. I think they have plenty of ways to deal with an Anti-Mage. I don't think Thuggits should have been scared of Anti-Mage. You have Sven, Bane, even Brewmaster. Witch Doctor's Death Ward is, again, physical damage. You could definitely have killed an Anti-Mage. Sven just two-shots that hero, unless... If they're both 6-slotted and Sven has ult up, he two-shots that hero. Mostly. Maybe 4 shots. Probably 4, but with an Echo Saber, it's basically in the span of 2. Thuggits, I again would like to see a really high magic damage mid come out for them. Queen of Pain would be great. She doesn't rely on physical damage at all. It's a lot of burst damage. Don't give Dazzle the opportunity to heal heroes, just blow them up. You could go for an Invoker that gives some excellent teamfight control, something that they don't have a ton of. I mean, they have the Sven reliable stun, the Brew Boulder, but Witch Doctor Cat, they have a lot of single target stuff, but their teamfight is sort of lacking, so I would really like a Queen of Pain for Thuggits, something like that, something that gives them some AoE damage, has a higher uptime than, say, Sven. Sven is good, but when his ult is down in at least the early mid game, he doesn't feel kind of that incredible. Meanwhile, Girthshakers, they're looking for their one position as well. Thuggits looking for their mid. They could go for something like a Troll Warlord. Then they could just demolish objectives.
Team pick.
Oh, they're gonna go a Wraith King though. I like that. It's okay. I don't think it's super impressive, but it's definitely not bad. It has a lot of synergies as well. He doesn't like Wraith King doesn't need a ton of items, and so when you have minus armor on your team to help him
10
just kind of
seconds remaining.
do more damage, then he's pretty good. And Wraith King has kind of an interesting power
5
spike where he's
seconds
really good early
remaining.
game because of his stun, and he's really good late game because of his crit. But in that in between, he's kind of eh. But you have like Death Prophet, who's pretty good in the mid game and sort of a little bit less good in the late game because she's so ult dependent. That is one thing that Chicken Thuggits do. Both these teams are pretty ult dependent. I'll have to see what this 5th pick is, but the draft feels fairly even, although I am leaning to Girth Shakers right now. But we don't know Thuggits' 5th pick yet. I would like Queen of Pain. Templar Assassin might not be bad. They have a lot of large single instances of damage, but then again, you've got Dazzle, DP, and Wraith King with damage over time. And they're going to go for a Magnus. That's some AoE damage and an excellent team fight ult. That was really my primary concern, I think, is just being able to team fight. And they've got Sven to counteract that minus armor. But I think I favor Girth Shakers draft. I feel like Girth Shakers have the easier draft, quotes, in air quotes. You can't see me do air quotes, but I did air quotes. Just because Chicken Thuggits need to make sure those RPs connect. They need to be really careful fighting up against the weave. The Brew ult is on a very long cooldown. I think it's hard for Bane to decide who he's hitting with his spells. There's a ton of ways for them to cancel. The Death Prophet Silence, the Wraith King stun, Dazzle's, I think his skill still stuns. I haven't really looked at it since it got reworked. Slardar Crush. Yeah, it just feels like Girth Shaker's draft is a lot. It just comes together really nicely, I think. However, I think Thuggits definitely have a chance in this game. I like the Sven a lot. I really like the Magnus as well. I'm not sure how I feel about their support duo. It feels really, really greedy, but we'll see. And I guess since I'm on this side of the map already, we'll take a peek at Chicken Thuggits. Brewmaster being played by Jukester. Meanwhile, Magnus is getting played by Floating Bark. And then Mako is playing the Bane. Sven is by Sayuki, who had a really good Chaos Knight performance last time I watched. And Nipple is playing the Witch Doctor. Meanwhile, on the Girth Shakers, who are missing their seemingly signature hero, it's Chillantro on the Dazzle. B Brown 512 on the Wraith King. Just going to call him Brown. That's a lot easier. Joshua playing the Legion Commander. Taylor, as in the profession, not the name. Or if you're kind of eccentric, maybe you'd spell your name that way. But he's playing Slardar and McSnazzy, looking snazzy, on the Death Prophet. Trying to zone them out here from their rune. I don't think you want to mess with this. You have Cask. Probably could get Stormhammer, but maybe you could do okay there. It looks like we do have a brief pause. Let me look. Sorry, I took a quick sip. You wouldn't win the fight, but you don't really want to mess with the Cask and the Stormhammer at level 1. I think it only bounces twice, though. If it was just 2 heroes, it'd be a lot scarier. But speaking of things getting scarier, it looks like Jukester and Mako are maybe considering making a move down here. However, I don't know if this brew really wants to start Clap. That makes laning a fair bit harder. Just because I think you want either Drunken Haze or Drunken Brawler in the early game so you can kind of tank up a lot more harass, be that beefy wall. And Wraith King, I don't know, maybe he wants to start with crit because it has the instant kill now on it, but most likely we'll start Wraith Fire Blast. Okay, Dazzle, does this stun? No, it does not. It just slows now. Okay, I wasn't really that sure. So looks like we are unpausing and gonna get this game underway. I think both teams may just Nope, Sayuki and Nipple are going for it. They ping out. Nipple trying to zone him away. And it looks like they are just going to give up that bounty rune. However, at the bot lane, it looks like a bit of a fight breaking out. Brown getting pretty low, throwing out the Wraithfire Blast, but now the clap slowing him up. A couple more right clicks is all it would take. Dazzle trying to body block, but Bane able to get the right clicks, and Mako will find that. And it did appear that Jukester got that bounty rune as well, so it looks like 2 bounty runes going to the Brewmaster, and Bane grabbing a first blood. So a nice bit of a gold injection going the way of Chicken Thuggits, and they're going to be off to an excellent start. One thing I didn't talk about is kind of the scaling of both of these teams and what a good early start would mean for Thuggits. I feel like it really comes down to the Sven for them, if they stack for him or not, how well Sayuki CS is in the early game, because all these heroes come on so early, and Mako actually overextending. Going to get popped in the bot lane, trying to trade and perhaps overvaluing what he's able to dish out. Anyways, Girth Shakers are a terror in the early and the mid game with almost no items. You have overwhelming odds, you have Wraithfire Blast, Dazzle's spells are just good, Slardar's spells are just good, Death Prophet spells are good. Sure, her ult is very, very important, and she needs it, but Spirit Siphon damage is very potent against these low mobility heroes, namely the Sven, the Witch Doctor, and the Bane. And Brewmaster certainly doesn't want to have to split just because of a Spirit Siphon. But I think this Sven is going to be needs to be fed some good farm in order to really help Thuggits capitalize. Going into the mid game. Oh, actually, top, it looks like Slardar getting very, very low. Nipple trying to find a Malediction ticking, but his Tango keeping him alive, and it looks like he will just survive. Now going to TP back to Fountain, and in the mid lane, a little bit of beef. These heroes are... He's going to be okay, but he is maxing Shockwave, so not what we see a lot of Magnuses do. Trying to skewer her back into the tower, but McSnazzy just going to gingerly float away. Grabbing a illusion rune. No bottle just yet, and actually not even queued up. Perhaps not entirely necessary against a Magnus. You know you're not likely to get killed unless, as long as he positions carefully, he probably won't die. However, Sayuki could find himself surprised by an overwhelming odds if he's not careful, but it looks like Nipple hanging out should be able to protect his carry pretty reasonably. Bane, Mako, smoked up, lurking in the mid lane. Ping's coming out that he's missing. McSnazzy, if he gets nightmared, could be in trouble, because that just sets up for a skewer, moving him very far out of position. Oh, he already had his bottle, that's why it wasn't queued up. Must have been on the way on Crow just then. And Mako still sitting around, but does not... Okay, now that he's that far out in the river, we may see a movement coming in. Mako on the run, trying to catch up. He's not quite fast enough, though, but he might actually get the Nightmare off. And he Brain Saps instead. But Nightmare's range is so short, it wasn't likely he was going to quite get that. 310 move speed on the Death Prophet and 350 on the Bane. But she positioned herself really well over here, saw pretty quickly where Bane was coming from, and was able to slip away. And now with the bot lane, I want to see how this Brewmaster's doing. He's level 3, so not getting zoned at all. Unfortunately, because how long Bane was down here, he doesn't have a level advantage, but I don't think he necessarily needs one to survive against these two heroes. The CS, though, Wraith King and Death Prophet farming very nicely. Sayuki just behind. And all the core is actually doing fairly well, but CS is more going the way of Girth Shakers right now. Magnus grabbing an Arcane Rune, and McSnazzy just throwing out some right clicks to harass. Joshua, level 3, has his Soul Ring, though, so can spam out his overwhelming odds, which helps really zone this Sven out. And I wonder, is there a stack? I don't see one yet. That's really important for Sven. You also have a Magnus to empower heroes like Brewmaster, who might not be amazing at farming stacks, but are okay. I would like to see Ancients farmed. Oh, but a Spirit Siphon onto this floating bark. He's getting pretty low. McSnazzy not enough mana to use Crypt Swarm, and now tanking up tower shots, but should be able to get floating bark. Shockwave coming out. One more right click. The bottle charges, saving him, and he just barely survives. And McSnazzy TPing out safety before Magnus can rebuttal. Very deep dive, and both heroes very effectively it's a fairly even trade. They look back, and now Brown getting low. Wraithfire Blast onto the Brewmaster. Jukester getting low, but the dodge actually coming out. Mako trying to get some right clicks, but actually walled off by creeps. And Slardar making a movement towards this bot lane. The ward here will not spot him until he's very close. Ping's coming out for the Shrine. Sven completing his treads right around the same time this Wraith King does. What level is this Sven actually for? And looks like they're trying to do something to this Legion Commander. They pop the Malediction, the cast bouncing. She's healing up now and should be okay. Yeah, I think that's only one rank in the Maledict. Her heal also will completely negate the Maledict anyway. Both teams making aggressive plays in their offlane, or against the enemy offlane. And now with 3 heroes down here, Girthshakers might find what they're looking for. The mid Exorcism committed, getting this tower fairly low, trying to stay within range to get some poke onto that. The spell timing out sort of soon. We'll clean up these waves, and if she kills this tower, it frees up a lot of space for her to move around and for her teammates to move around, and we'll get it pretty low, but not going to kill it off. And that does mean Exorcism is down, so we'll have to be a little bit careful about some kind of counterplay. And speaking of, we've got Jukester moving in towards the mid lane, but Death Prophet McSnazzy already backing off. However, Bane being alone, this could be trouble for him, but Slardar is pretty far back. Doesn't want to get spotted by a ward. And Brewmaster, it's interesting to me that he would leave this lane. I definitely think he should have stayed. Really want to get that level 6 on the Brew. It's one of the most important spells, not just for your team, but it looks like they might find something. There is a Mervo's Polarity. It is committed. He's getting pretty low, but there's only a couple ranks. Trying to get those crits off, and now a TP coming in. Dazzle and Slaughter, they could get a Grave off, the heal coming out as well. And now Slaughter trying to get a crush, and Floating Bark actually gets pushed back. And now Taylor going into the spray, not going to connect on the, not going to connect. The cast coming out, bouncing around, just slow. Cilantro getting beat down, has Malediction on him, but should be just fine. Not going to do any real damage thanks to the healing, the Shockwave poking these heroes, and heavy rotations from both sides. However, one critical difference is that the offlaner, the Brewmaster, rotated as opposed to the Bane. And now it's Sven. Wants to get that Mask of Madness, will allow him to go farm the jungle. Legion Commander lurking in the wings, wants to try to get a big overwhelming odds once Sven's in the creep wave. Maybe wants to try to sneak a duel as well, but Sayuki senses something's up and gonna back off a little bit. Maybe try to go Shrine. Rotations coming in from the Slardar and the Dazzle as well. Oh, but Brown getting low. A couple more right clicks will do the trick. They slow him, and the Brain Sap will finish him off. But he's still farming pretty well. 33 CS to the Sven's 33 CS, so they're about even. Death Prophet beating the Magnus out by 10 or so, 14 really. So McSnazzy also a little bit of movement, snags the bounty rune, and is a little it's actually a full level ahead of Floating Bark, so has to be feeling a little bit confident, but no Empower yet on that Magnus also. Something to note. Clap coming out, a stun. They're trying to pressure Brown before he gets that ult. Now a TP from Dazzle. Slaughter hanging out in the sidelines. Maybe wants to try to help Legion win a duel. She's pretty low mana. Armlet going to be the Wraith King's next item. Fortification forced out thanks to the Exorcism of McSnazzy. McSnazzy is pretty low though. Brain Sap going to deal some damage. Getting the Spirit Siphon forward from the Mag. He has a Skewer. It latches, but just barely not enough damage. And now Mako gets himself in a very precarious situation. Getting low, pops the Nightmare, but Spirit Siphon and the right clicks from Death Prophet and the tower will be enough to finish him off. And now Slaughter sprinting forward. The mid tower killed by creeps. And now Floating Bark suddenly could find himself in danger. Spirit Siphon slowing him up. Could get him in change of Taylor's Crush. But oh, the RP faked out. Cask bouncing. Will it bounce back to Slardar though? No, it will just bounce between the creeps. And Nipple's rotation will prevent any further aggression. But the first tower of the game claimed by the Death Prophet. Of course, that probably doesn't really come as a surprise to anyone watching, as Death Prophet is a notoriously good tower pusher, but now that her mid tower is down, she wants to make some moves in these other lanes. She's going right into the bot lane, trying to shove that in with the Wraith King. Dazzle also down here. First Polarity is still available. Magnus a ways away from his blink though. And Legion with an invisibility rune could maybe find a duel, but there's actually a sentry ward right there that could spot her out, and maybe it did spot her out actually, as they had an observer ward down low. But Nipple still being stalked, it seems, or Joshua perhaps eyes set on some bigger prey in this Sven, but I'm not sure he could get a kill, not without a TP rotation. But with how things are going bot lane, I'm not sure he'll get when Jukes are trying to get a clap off. Has the primal split. There is no silence from the Death Prophet. She's stunned up with that boulder. And there is their RP available. I don't know if they want to come in and just resell McSnazzy in a very weird situation, but Floating Bark getting low thanks to that. The Shockwave, the RP coming out, the Heal Bomb! And now needs to be careful. Floating Bark skewering away. Fiend's Grip coming out onto Death Prophet. He's getting low, but a nice grave to save her for the time. The Shockwave will kill the Wraith King, triggering the Reincarnate. McSnazzy still alive, and Mako stunned up and then killed off by the Wraith King. Cass coming out, and it looks like Brown could find himself in trouble. They missed the Malediction, a big overwhelming odds. Joshua looking for a duel, gets it on the Brewmaster, but taking up the tower. However, is the damage, it's not quite enough. No, just barely getting it. Now another Shockwave coming out. Floating Bark getting extremely low from a crit, but the tower will finish off the Legion Commander Sven. Warcry with that speed may try to find someone, may try to find Cilantro. He's in the trees. He has his arcane boots and has a TP, and Sayuki goes the wrong way, doubling back instead of advancing forward. Almost every hero rotated into that encounter. I did not see the fight recap pop up, but if we take a look at the gold graph, we do see a bit of a jump going in favor of Girth Shakers, as they did claim, I want to say, 2 heroes. I believe they got Bane and maybe it was just the Bane. Jukester getting pretty low. McSnazzy pops her ult. Exorcism is up. They need to be very careful fighting into this Sven. Affected by the weave as well. Stunned up, taking a lot of damage, but Death Ward coming in. McSnazzy getting kind of low. Needs to reposition, get away from that Death Ward, and now Nipple in the danger zone. The stun coming out from the Wraith King just now will get Nipple low, and he'll go down. The Brain Sap will catch McSnazzy, but they do get what is essentially a free kill in Sayuki, very low. And we forced to retreat, perhaps going to have to pop that shrine, and there are no stacks for Sayuki. Jukester also does not have his ult available. McSnazzy has just a few seconds left on the Exorcism. Will get some good chip damage. And the Spirit Siphon, she heals the full. And the Death Prophet's Crypt Swarm coming out. And it looks like they will have to forfeit this tower. Death Prophet claiming her mid tower did allow her to just hang out wherever she wants. And now they've turned it into yet another tower. And taking a look at the net worth, we see that Death Prophet, McSnazzy sitting at the top and closing in on that Yule Scepter, and just now buying it actually, with 1k net worth more than the next highest, and 1k net worth more than the Sven. There aren't any stacks for him, so his farm isn't as good as I think it could be. I think when you pick Sven, you have to be stacking at least the Ancients, if not, you know, just the medium camps, to get him that boost of gold. He functions similarly to an alchemist in my eyes, where he wants to have more items than the other cores. He wants to be ahead of them. He wants to be 1 or 2 items ahead of them. He plays okay from behind, but he really shines when he's got like 3k more gold, 1 or 2 items more than the other cores. When he's even with them, it doesn't feel quite as good. And now a very important item picked up for Girth Shakers. Joshua with a Blink Dagger, able to find those duels, but already with 1 win under his belt. The sole defender right now. A TP coming out from Bane. Death Ward is available if they can get something, but Nipple just hanging out. Doesn't want to give anything away, but oh, Sayuki might be found. Slardar with the Curse of Haze, the stun going out on him, and Invis. McSnazzy as well, slowing up. Curse of Haze coming up, Fiend's Grip immediately. Death Ward as well, the duel. And now Sven pops his ult. So much damage, RP, but not going to connect on anyone. A beautiful Yule saves the Death Prophet Exorcism going. Sayuki getting low, going to go down. It's a killing spree. McSnazzy draining up Floating Bark. Floating Bark getting extremely low. She's so tanky too. In full health. Chilantro, the split coming out. That should be able to finish him up, but Nipple, not quite so fortunate, has to bail, but the Yule is actually getting her out of position. Now Chilantro getting low. They're trying to find that. Nipple walks back into the Exorcism, not where you want to be, but they will get Chilantro. However, a double kill and 4 dead for Chicken Thuggits and 3 for Girth Shakers. A massive fight, but there can be no denying Girth Shakers come out on top. Death Prophet cleaning up in that fight, all the while Wraith King farming away at bot as if there's not a care in the world. And then Sven dying, of course, very, very bad for them. Floating Bark's RP just barely missing as McSnazzy did get his Yules off just in time. If he had been connected by that RP, he might have gone down to that Sven, would have been unable to get those Spirit Siphons that provide him with so much healing. Also, there was an amazing grave from Chilantro, which saved him at basically no health. So good plays across the board for Girth Shakers and Chicken Thuggits. So close, yet so far, and their ever important reverse polarity whiffed. And that is their 3rd and final Tier 1 tower claimed. And a 4K gold lead and rising for Girth Shakers. XP also in their favor at 4K as well. You're in no man's land, Nipple. Jukester trying to farm up, has his Blink Dagger available, going to be going for a Vlad's, will definitely help that Sven quite a lot. Sven going for an Echo Saber as his next item. BKB is okay for Sven this game, but I actually don't care for it that much. Just because Exorcism is still going to go through it. Wraith King just right click. Duel is going to go through it. There's some decent spells to block though, so I think it should be on the radar. Stopping the Wraith King's stun, stopping Death Prophet's silence. Legion Commander's Q if you get hit by it in like a big way. Oh, Joshua jumps forward, gets the duel up on Nipple. Nipple decimated. Fiend's Grip instantly canceled, and now Mako on the run. Oh, a nice Yule stopping the stun from him, and now Sayuki in an awkward spot, but they're not going to pursue any further. They have to weave, though. Adding up, getting them some more damage. Akaya finished on McSnazzy. Will definitely add to his damage output. And now Exorcism popped. It looks like they want to try to claim this Tier 2. And it is a 3v5. Maybe they can get a good RP. A nice RP onto 2 heroes, but do they have any follow-up? There's no one there. A nice clap, and now Sayuki pops his ult, but gets crushed on 3 heroes. Better than the RP. And now Floating Bark trying to run away, but goes down. McSnazzy getting low deathward, but nice. It's Grave to save. However, Hot Cheetos gonna go down. McSnazzy finally dies. His Unstoppable spree ended, and now they, a beautiful blink, just perfectly timed, but Mako might find Chilantro. He doesn't have Fiend's Grip, has the Nightmare though. Chilantro in the trees, hiding for now, but is spotted. And now Legion lifted once again. Malediction, that's gonna be the end of the Dazzle. And another blink comes out at perfect timing from Joshua. Slowed up, and it looks like he won't be able to escape this time though. Willie has 5 seconds. Oh, but the Nightmare's set up. There will be a Sven stun in a few seconds. The cast also coming out, and Joshua will die, but the bot tower being shoved by Wraith King and his little skeletons. So, while they do claim a lot of very good kills, and it was a massive gold swing in their favor, a beautiful fight for Chicken Thuggits, you have to keep in mind that this Wraith King is continuing to farm, and they're also putting pressure on these other towers, and have lost their first Tier 2. However, bottom, arguably the least important lane in the game. It doesn't have any proximity to Roshan, and that's really why I feel like you could argue it's not a very important lane.
I'll take that.
But a massive fight going the way of Chicken Thuggits. They take the Goldwing and they drag it back down just a little bit, and they find some important kills on their Sven. And they killed off Sayuki, which was definitely the most important kill. Jukester finding that as well, which would allow him to almost finish up his Vladimir's. Make sure I didn't accidentally mute myself. Okay, sometimes I do that because I'm not particularly wise. Echo Saber finished on Sayuki. Going to be going for a blink. I think I would like BKB after seeing how that last fight went. The Slithering Crush was huge. The RP was nice, but I feel like that's why Sven's going for a blink. Because if he could have blinked in as soon as that RP happened, popped his ult, thrown out a Stormhammer, and just chunked at some heroes, it would have been a lot more impactful. However, still pretty good for him. It wasn't bad by any stretch. And man, the Yule's usage of the Death Prophet has been, I mean, McSnazzy has been showing off with that Scepter. Now going to be going for an Octarine Core. I think that is probably the most important Death Prophet item ever. She's so ult dependent for so much of her damage that getting that reduced cooldown is probably the most important thing for her. And now a smoke coming out, Joshua. May want to try to find something. They're drawing their battle lines. Sayuki could be in trouble. He's pretty far from any reinforcements. Pings are coming out. They know where he is. Joshua jumps forward. Sven tries to run, pops the stun, tries to go past her, and now a stun on the Wraith King. They get that out. The Bane, nothing to save him, and now a beautiful crush catching the Bane. Exorcism coming out as well. Mako not getting out of this one with the Corrosive Haze. Those Exorcism Spirits, those right clicks, so much damage in this tier 2 tower. Absolutely going to go down. Without the Sven, they do not have the damage to fight this either. And with Exorcism still has quite a duration left, they may make an attempt at the high ground at just 20 minutes with their 7k gold lead, but Sven dead for 30 seconds. Definitely doesn't want to have to buy back. Shockwave coming out, Cask as well. Trying to slow down the creep waves, but this tower is getting very, very low. They don't have fortification. Shockwave trying to kill that wave, but they just get this tower, and now Snazzy healing to full. With the Exorcism down, there could be some potential of a play of an engagement, but they are going to blink back. Clap coming forward, just slowing up the Legion Commander. Pops the overwhelming odds. Split coming out. Nice RP on 2, but silenced, unable to skewer. The cast coming out. Malediction not used, but the Death Ward getting Joshua pretty low. Fiend's Grip as well, doing some damage. The stun will stop that Death Ward, but Legion still alive. Joshua actually will finally die, and Brown still going after Nipple, but Nipple's still alive for the time. I believe Wraith King has a blink dagger. May probably use it away, but won't. And now the cast coming out, the Clap trying to slow him up. Nipple's still alive, and Brown can't say the same for him. He goes down, and it's killing speed for Juicer, but they've lost their tier 3 tower. And over here, Dazzle just barely escaping thanks to his shallow grave. Sayuki unable to find his little bit of vindication, his redemption in that kill. And the Skeletons doing some decent damage to the Shrine. The Shrines being removed and this top lane being taken down is very, very bad for Chicken Thuggits. It greatly restricts their ability to contest a Roshan, and against a Legion Commander, Death Prophet, Wraith King, Roshan is definitely on the menu. I think that Thuggits should just go for it now. Magnus should pop in power on the Sven. They have a Vlad's, and they can just pretty quickly claim that Rosh, I think, even though they don't have any minus armor. But looks like they have their eyes set on this Death Prophet. They don't have Sven, but Fiend's Grip is also on cooldown. RP as well, but Clap slowing her up. She has a Yule's. She's getting low already. Pops it. Doesn't have anything like a Blink Dagger. TP's coming in, but it shouldn't save her. Snazzy, well, he's going down now. A nice smoke from Chicken Thuggits to find themselves a very good kill on that Death Prophet. She's down for 50 seconds, but Exorcism was on cooldown for only 5 seconds. Still a very good kill for them. Will help them secure parts of their map a little bit, and maybe give them the confidence to shove some of these towers down. There are still 2 tier 1s on the map for Chicken Thuggits to take.
This will do nicely.
Blink Dagger now finished on Sayuki. Will allow him to more quickly follow up on things like Fiend Scripts, some good casts, the obvious one being the Reverse Polarities. And will help him just catch some stragglers and chase down fleeing heroes. Took the 30 damage and 2 mana regen. Both those are probably the better talents for the tier. Doesn't really care for the move speed because he has Warcry.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Looks they're going to pressure this. However, upon seeing that, Girth Shakers immediately walk into the pit. This Roshan is not long for this world. The Shrine's still alive. If they sense something's wrong, they are popping their smoke. They don't realize that Roshan's happening. The Weave, these guys are super tanky, and Rosh does not stand a chance. Some lines are being drawn. They are well aware of where Chicken Thuggits are, and they'll easily claim this Roshan and give it to Snazzy. I don't really like giving it to the Death Prophet, because she's so ult reliant that when her ult is used and then she dies, she feels a lot weaker. So the second life doesn't feel as good for me. Not bad, and I don't think you want to give it to the Wraith King or the Legion Commander. And Chicken Thuggits unable to make use of this DD rune as Girth Shakers just back off. There are no rush to use this Aegis, but they're drawing lines now. They want to get that top lane of Rax. wonder if they have another smoke. If they get another smoke, they may be able to make, like, if you catch them, like, here, if they're down here and you catch them from up here, I think they get slaughtered. Positioning is so important for all of Girthshaker's heroes, especially the Wraith King and the Death Prophet, of course, Exorcism. So if Chicken Thuggits can find superior positioning, and I think that might be a smoke flying out right now. No, just a Force Staff, and they're just sitting around waiting. Oh, they already had a smoke. Okay. Looks like they do want to try to find that. Slardar and Dazzled positioned defensively to ensure that they can pop any smokes that come about, and Chicken Thuggits only really have the vision that their creeps are giving them. They might pop their smoke on something that they don't want. Ping's going out onto the Slardar. That's not the hero they want to jump. They need to get the Wraith King. They need to get the Death Prophet. Death Prophet popping her Exorcism. Now is the time for Chicken Thuggits to go. Fortification popped. Looks like they are going to lose at least one of their racks. The blink forward from Jukester going onto Taylor, but it's just racks and a beautiful RP, but there's no follow-up at all. Cass coming out, and Death Ward as well. Cask bouncing, trying to stop this Wraith King of Yules. Will cancel the Death Ward. Floating Bart getting very, very low in the background. They're going after the supports, but already 3 of their heroes are dead. And now Wraith King coming back. Death Prophet coming back as well. Sven popping his ult, but he's getting so low. Needs to be so careful. He's not healing and not taking so much damage. Will he get Brown? No, yes, he will just in time. It will go down to Snazzy. Snazzy, without the Exorcism, does less damage, but Joshua finds a double kill. And now this Rax looks like it's in serious danger, but I don't know if they can get anything more than this. I don't know if you want to buy back on your Sven for this. You got 2 big kills. You claimed the Aegis, but still a favorable fight for Girthshakers, claiming 1 lane of Rax, and they should be able to get this tier 2. No, actually, the creep wave is shoved all the way in, so very fortunate for Chicken Thuggits that couldn't have been worse for them. Nice Yules usage. Mixed Snazzy is really using this item effectively, popping the Yules on the catapult, and now will deny the mid. Desolator finish for the Wraith King. It just goes to show that even though they're down 9k gold, if they get a good RP and good follow-up with the Sven, the only thing that Girthshakers has to kind of counter them at this point is their extra lives. The Wraith King it's very, very, like, without that, he's just so easy to kite and kill. Death Prophet also got blown up incredibly quickly when they went on her, but she is an Octarine core now, which will provide her significant healing. I'd like to see a BKB on her, just so it stops the Sven stun, the Witch Doctor stuns. Some defensive items. Shiva's Guard also would be a great choice. Some more armor for her, a good slow to pop on the Sven. And another thing to point out is how well this Dazzle's been playing. He's always been able to get really nice Graves off to buy time for his teammates. And now with the Solar Crest finish on the Slardar, they're even tankier. But we just saw in that last fight, they had a long duration weave on them. And they had a pretty hefty chunk of damage they were putting out. Taking a look at this net worth. Chicken Thuggits still very far behind on all their cores. 5k gold almost. That's more like 4k gold behind on the Sven compared to that Death Prophet. Wraith King also about 1k, 600 gold really ahead of him. And Legion Commander just behind him. And an early silence coming out from McSnazzy, but it's on a short cooldown, so nothing to fear. Without the Aegis, it's so hard for them to shove up high ground. They have to be so nervous about doing it after how that last fight went, getting all 3 of their cores caught in a really fantastic RP. And with Sentry Wards being placed all over the Chicken Thuggits base, it's going to be hard to get that vision in there besides the creeps coming into the top lane. Dazzle also with a medallion. Probably won't upgrade it to a Solar Crest. He has a mechanism. He's had it for a little while now. So just a ton of healing coming out from Girthshakers, who feel like they're kind of on a time limit. I think it'll get to a point where Sayuki's just so big, and especially with the Empower put on him, will just hit so hard in such a wide AoE with his cleave, you might not be able to win these fights. Granted, they do have the Wraith King. The Legion Commander has a Blade Mail. Oh, and a dive back, pushing him back. A nice duel onto the Brew. Not able to get his... Oh, but look at that. The beautiful Nightmare dancing. And now Death Prophet getting low. Feed Script coming out. Death Ward, but a great grave. Buying her time. A nice RP catches onto the split. Already Bane is dead. Sayuki getting low, trying to do it. Chunking these heroes down. Massive damage. Double kill for him. Brown doing just as much damage back. Brown getting low. Will die, but Nipple getting beat by those skeletons. And he's not getting out of this one. Throws his cast, trying to buy time, but a heal bomb finishes him off. A killing spree for the Dazzle, and that's 3 heroes dead, including the Sven. And Bruce Split already been used, not able to get in there like this, but maybe able to delay the push with some Drunken Haze. Looks like that's exactly what his game plan is. Magnus also has no RP, throwing out Shockwaves, trying to buy some time. Drunken Haze just delaying the inevitable. It just feels like Sven, he does plenty of damage, but there's just, he doesn't survive long enough. Shockwaves and Drunken Haze spams can only buy you so much time. We've already lost 1 lane. Jukes are throwing forward, trying to punish, but there's no way they can get anything off of this. The weave coming out, and Cilantro pulled back into the danger zone. Nightmare already used, though. Maybe able to actually TP out. No, he doesn't have a TP scroll, so he will go down. Trying to throw out a heal bomb, doing what he can, but going to get killed off by the Shockwave of Floating Bard. However, just looking at the map, there's so much gold that Chicken Thuggits haven't claimed yet. There's all of the outer towers. Well, all of the tier 2 towers, 1 tier 1 tower, there's 2 shrines. Their shrines are all gone. There's just so much gold that Chicken Thuggits are missing. And if they win a couple of these fights, I feel like they could really come back. But now this Wraith King has kind of hit his second power spike almost. And he's got another item on the way, his Skull Basher. So now with his second power spike coming on, it might be a lot harder for them. Wraith King, we saw him going toe-to-toe with that Sven, unafraid, and now with the Basher, might actually be able to just 1v1 him without fear of dying, without needing that second life. And Death Prophet, McSnazzy grabbing 500 health, so much tankier, but Sven, again, chunks at these guys. However, it may not be enough. The rest of the damage from Chicken Thuggits isn't really there. Sven is their only real damage hero. Maybe if Witch Doctor could somehow get an Aghanim Scepter, I could see something coming out of it, but Seiyuki, they've got the smoke going. He wants his BKB, still a ways off it, but that means he has no buyback. Double damage rune at the bot, and if Sven finds that DD rune, that could be the time to go. Roshan respawning in 2 minutes. Sven sees that DD rune, and power coming out as well. So much damage on him. If they find anyone, they will be erased. Wraith King up on the high ground could pop that smoke potentially, or might walk into a death trap. They turn around, they see the Wraith King, they slow him up. Sven just destroys him. His ult is up. Team, are they going to be able to follow up, or are they going to leave him to die? He can't blink away, not in time. The duel coming out onto the duel, but onto the brew, but a beautiful RP, a great crush though on 5 heroes, and Wraith King already dead. Joshua getting low as well. Death Prophet ult committed. The DD is still on the Sven, and now McSnazzy trying to siphon up as many heroes as he can, healing himself and doing as much damage as possible. And now it looks like Bane popping a Nightmare onto the Slardar. The Brew Spirit getting low. He needs to get out of here, and Death Prophet, they will find him. Do they want to fight this? They don't really want to find Exorcism. Yules onto the Magnus. There is still the Sven ult available. They brought Death Prophet back. Sven silenced for a while. Doesn't have the ult yet and will go down. An ultra kill for McSnazzy. Just never found the opportunity to do anything and was just silenced for so long. There are 3 buybacks available, but not on the Sven. All for just the Wraith King. What looks like it could have been a beautiful opportunity for Chicken Thuggits. Turns around on its head. And now it looks like this next lane of Rax is doomed to die, and the bot lane doesn't seem like it has that much longer either. Buybacks not yet used. Chicken Thuggits perhaps considering letting this game go. That Death Prophet. Beautiful positioning from McSnazzy, and yes, Chicken Thuggits do tap out, call GG. We're going to move on to the second game of this best of 2, and Girth Shakers have claimed game number 1. Chicken Thuggits just never felt like they were able to make it come together. It felt like they didn't get the perfect RPs, and if they did, the Dazzle was just able to save important heroes like the Death Prophet. The only real damage they had was the Sven. Mag is great, but just not any damage, and I think that was really what they were missing the most. And Girth Shakers just kind of outmaneuvering and outplaying Chicken Thuggits a little bit in this first game, and we'll see how they do going into game number 2. Again, we've got 1 game left. It's only a best of 2. No one's eliminated. It's just the group stage, and we will be right back after a very short break.